so far 2-0, defeating New Taipei Kings, thus cementing the head-to-head. And what's interesting, had the Broncos lost yesterday against Adroit, and if they are to lose today, they still would have remained top of Group B, having won that head-to-head. Their standings, top two teams in both Groups A and Group B qualify for the Final Four. And from there, two teams, the two very best, will go on to play the winners of the Japanese B-League, the Korean KBL, the Chinese CBA, Philippines PBA, and the two very best from the FIBA Vassal for the 2025 FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. Well, we're now going to get set to introduce the key players for tonight's game. We will begin with the visitors. Well, High-Tech, the only two wins they've had so far were against their rivals from Singapore, Adroit. And even though, unfortunately, they won't be able to qualify for the Final Four, tonight it's about pride. They've got to ensure they finish on a high note. We were able to see that with the NS Matrix Deers defeating Bishop Metzel, the other team hosting this fifth and final window in BCL Asia East. The question is, can High-Tech do the same? Well, High-Tech, of course, the #1 team from Thailand. Historically, they have been one of the better teams. There's big man Manny Ajesu. But the key player for them to look out for is the man who leads them in scoring, Michael Singletary. Of course, now in his first season playing in Thailand after a very successful 4 years in the Taipei Fubon Braves of the Chinese Taipei Plus League. We just saw Janitip Jakaran come out, and there is Natakan Mwambun. Of course, Nakon Jaisanek, both key players, all three of them, I should say, that have featured for Thailand in the 2021 and 2025 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Well, he knows tonight they just must simply come here and put on a showcase for the thousands of Thai basketball fans watching back home in Bangkok. Well, now we're going to introduce the Broncos. The Broncos have taken everybody by storm. Remember, on this arena, history could very well repeat itself, but Broncos could change the script. Well, go back to 2024, nearly a year ago, in what was then known as the BCL Asia qualifiers. It was the Broncos losing to Pelita Jaya, and very well, they could see them again. Well, they will see them again. Broncos finishing first, Pelita Jaya finishing second place. A venue yet to be decided for the BCL Asia East Final Four. Well, it's a very talented team. Of course, led by the likes of Jordi Chimang, who's averaging 18 points, but you've got to take #7, the young fella, 20 years of age, as Bayard. Well, he's averaging 16 points per game, just below Jordi Chimanga. Jordan Tolman as well, averaging 15, playing in all 5 games so far here in BCL Asia East. And head coach Erdene Adeongolt. Of course, what an impact and what a career start for him. He was the assistant coach, but then moving in to the head coach's role. Well, now we'll be set to introduce 3 very important people for tonight's game, and those are our 3 referees. And of course, we're very proud to say we have 3 of the very finest in world basketball. You've probably seen them in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, FIBA Asia Cups, Basketball World Cups, and even Basketball Olympics. But tonight, we have Glenn Cornelio from the Philippines, Alexei Stepanenko from Kazakhstan, and Lee Kyung-Wan from Korea. Well, our commissioner and technical delegate for tonight's game is Zhang Hongtao, a man who does actually work very closely with the Chinese Basketball Association, as well as being a commissioner and technical delegate here with FIBA. Well, we'll give a big shout out and thank you to all of our officials who've done a magnificent job in all of our competitions. And as well, another big shout out to FIBA Asia. What a monumental 2 years it's been. Really, this is a return of the FIBA Asia Champions Cup, but of course rebranded a part of the FIBA family known as the BCL, the Basketball Champions League. While Freddie Leash, of course born in Honolulu, Hawaii, spent the bulk of his career playing professional in Thailand. He's going to have to really lead this team in the backcourt tonight along with the likes of Michael Singletary. But their starting lineup, Leash will be in the backcourt along with Singletary. Jakaran will also be in the inside along with Manny Ajesu. And of course, Ilat Pipatko will probably play off guard tonight with Freddie Leash, depending how they want to go about this. Well, it's always a learning curve. That's the key thing. Head coach Lelako knows he's got a talented team, and probably some games, especially against New Taipei Kings when they joint hosted with Adroit, he probably felt they could have won that game because they did lead by double figures. Well, as Bayard, Jordan Tolman, Ian Miller, along with Enk Batar and Batisbold, will all make the starting five for our host, the Broncos. Well, one thing he's got to be wary of tonight. They've already qualified. They're already going to finish top. They'll meet Pelita Jaya in the Final Four at the semifinals. He's got to make sure this team remains healthy. Of course, his key star national team player locally, known as Bill Garum, but we know him as Tommy. You've probably seen him feature for the Mongolian national team. He's inactive, and hopefully we'll see him back in time for the BCL Asia East Final Four. That competition will take place on the 29th of May to the 1st of June. Because it's going to be a magnificent summer for Asian basketball. Second year we'll be having the BCL Asia. Last summer, we held it in the City of Gold, Dubai, and won Wael Arakchi, of course, leading his team to a championship. And they are the only team, of course, Al Riyadi Yakbiri, to any Lebanese fans watching, the only team to have ever won the former FIBA Asia Champions Cup and now newly branded FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. Al Riyadi looking to take care of business in the FIBA Basel, currently going on with the Final 8. And they'll be looking to defend their championship. Because if you only joined us, that BCL Asia East Final Four, we had the two teams from Chinese Taipei. From the TPPL, we have the new Taipei Kings. Of course, in the Plus League, we have Taiyuan Paiyuan Pilots, the only other undefeated team here in the BCL Asia East. Pelita Jaya booked their tickets yesterday with a win against Bishrel Metel. Now, it would also be the Broncos. So we have representation from Mongolia, the league, the IBL in Indonesia, and the Plus League in TPPL in Chinese Taipei. Well, we're now 2 minutes away from tip-off. There's Glenn Cornelio, because he's a magnificent referee, having made his trade in the Philippine Basketball Association as well as the UAAP, the very elite university system within the Philippines. Well, if you're a big fan of Asian basketball, as all of us are indeed, I mean, the content, the caliber, the standard, the quality is getting better and better. Of course, what better way to have, you know, a summer of fruition, second year of the BCL Asia. That will take place between the 9th and the 15th of June. A venue yet to be decided. Of course, follow BCL Asia on all social media platforms, X, Instagram, and Facebook, to get those updates. But also, it's not over after that. August is going to be a thrilling month. The 2025 FIBA Asia Cup. And you know, you can watch those games live on Courtside 1891. Question is, will Australia go for a three-peat? Or could it be Lebanon? Could it be Jordan? Could it be Japan? Could it be China? I'm telling you, FIBA Asia has never been more exciting. Well, we'd like to welcome everybody watching live on FIBA's official YouTube platform and anywhere else in the world. But if you are watching on FIBA's live YouTube platform, please hit that like button and subscribe to FIBA on YouTube. Well, the players now entering the floor. Freddie Leash, there's Jordan Tolbert actually. Freddie Leash just shaking hands with Glenn Cornelio. Now you can see both Broncos and High Tech ready for action. 1981 was the beginning of the first ever Continental Asian professional competition. It indeed was the FIBA Asia Champions Cup. Because that was 9 years before I was born, in which the Baiyi Rockets lifted the first championship. And in 2019, just shortly after the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup in China, it was Alvak Tokyo lifting the very last championship of the FIBA Asia Champions Cup. But now we're back. We're better, we're bigger. We are the #1 Asian professional basketball competition. We are the FIBA BCL Asia. Tonight, final game of BCL Asia East. Broncos getting first position. Asbayar having some very good games here at home. Almost turning it over. High Tech, of course, will want to finish in one final win. Finds Asbayar again, a BEA beautiful sequence. Well, young 20-year-old Asbayar, a former international world champion competitor of Taekwondo as a very young kid, but now finding himself as the future of Mongolian basketball. Well, Leash finds time and space and goes from no man's land. Well, you saw him in the shoot-around early. He was taking some deep three-pointers. You don't leave Freddie Leash wide open. Well, Freddie Leash averaging 12.8 points per game is now Ian Miller trying to respond. Singletary gets a rebound. Leading scorer for High Tech. Well, Leash is wide open, but in the end, Lee Lappico, he'll hit another one. High Tech coming out like a house on fire. Back-to-back three-pointers. Broncos going to that double high screen, the horn set as they like to call it. But now Miller working with Tolbert, finds it. No foul called against Jackerwine. Well, a foul's going to be called against Singletary. And you know, that's what makes Ian Miller such a dangerous player. He has that three-pointer threat, but, well, they called this one on the ground. Let's have a look at the replay. That's a tough one. Well, nice cut again, but he misses the wide-open layup. Well, usually Batisbold is one of the more efficient players, but now Singletary, little Euro step. Well, he just sliced the defense, and now Miller wants to run. Finds Bazbayar, and he finishes in transition. We can see both teams trying to get in the runs. Leash attacks quickly. And again, it's just becoming high up-tempo basketball here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Because must give a big shout out to the Mongolian Basketball Federation for hosting this magnificent window. Batisbold going for a three. Ajesu gets a hand to it. High Tech lead by 6. Oh, good defense. Broncos forced a turnover. Now they want to run. Trying to finish this one. They cut it down to a 2-possession ball game. Layup made by Eng-Batar. Oh, again, suffocated defense. Broncos really like to play in the half court, especially when defending man-to-man. Here's where High Tech, they've got to have their principles. Jackerwine for 15. A Jesu offensive rebound, but again, unable to put back. The presence of Jordan Tolbert making it impossible. But now Eng-Batar, 3 in the corner. And nobody from Broncos going into contest for an offensive board. Well, Singletary has a bit of time. Three's not going to go. And Azbayar again in transition. Goes in, avoids the block from Singletary. And what a move by the young 20-year-old. Already 6 points. Just here in over 3 minutes. Because he won the Player of the Game award. Now Leash goes for another one. Goes out of bounds, but that's going to remain High Tech ball. Eng-Batar may have just taken a shot to the face there, but completely accidental. Oh no, Broncos will get it back. Batisbold now here in the backcourt, defended by Leash. Going to that horn set. Trying to run another screen here with Azbayar, but it culminates into a turnover. So good defense by Jackerwine. Well, Jackerwine comes out for the very aggressive hedge, trying to put Eng-Batar under pressure. We might see that a lot from High Tech defending these bull screens for the Broncos. Jackerwine now with the possession. Ajesu going for a post-up, but they don't get the ball to him. And now Singletary. Well, Singletary bumps, goes in, and what a move by Michael Singletary. Well, that's simply unguardable. High Tech's leading scorer, and then back up by 4 now. They're going to call a foul here on Lee Lappico. I think the foul was committed just before Ian Miller made that spin out, because you see there's a bit of a hook, but that's a good call because, well, my initial thought it was going to be an offensive foul against Miller, but nice cut by Batisbold and finishes one more time. Well, I told you, he's probably the best PG at slashing at the bucket. Miller comes up with a steal. Well, it's a 2-on-1, but he goes for 3 and he buries this one, giving Broncos a 1-point lead. Well, High Tech has got to stop turning the ball over. Just gifting Broncos with fast break points. Tolbert comes up with a rebound. Broncos again want to run. Miller another three in transition. Gets his own rebound. And that's going to be on Lilapical. That's going to be his second personal foul. Well, there's the Lilapical's got to put a body on Miller, prevent him from getting his own rebound. But yeah, that's the second. So Lilapical will go to the bench. Natakar Mwambung, another Thai national team player subbing in. Tolbert, quick catch and shoot. Another offensive rebound. Bottisbold. Again, shortest player on the court, but probably plays with the biggest heart. Miller pulls up 19. Jackerwan's hand in space, but again, simply punishes Janet Tim Jackerwan. Well, how do you defend him? You can only hope to contain. Foul's going to be called against Asbayard. And I like this part about High Tech, because they're not afraid to go for post entries, but sometimes Amani Watkins is going to sub into the game, one of their other centers, but sometimes I feel they don't give Matty Ajesu enough looks. And he's going to go to the bench. Boswell trying to put Singletary under pressure. Nice backdoor play. Bob Boone has a wide open layup, and he cuts it down to a 1-point deficit. Well, good tempo to this game. Just under 5 minutes, only a 1-point difference. Miller penetrates, finds Bottisbold, fires a three. Well, that's a good look. Another gamble. Finds Watkins, good hands by Tolbert, and he forces the turnover. Well, JT, Jordan Tolbert, just displaying some Karl Malone tendencies there. Because when you reach in and put your hand in the cookie jar, you've got to time that one exactly. Well, our official Lee Kwang-Wan just stopping play because he identified the shot clock hadn't begun. So Broncos will get it back. 6 seconds taken off the shot clock. 4:12 to go here in the first quarter. Of course, again, we'd like to welcome everybody watching live all over the world. And if you are watching live on FIBA's international YouTube platform, again, please hit that like button. Subscribe to FIBA on YouTube. And also, follow BCL Asia on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Big shout out to FIBA Asia. Magnificent job in hosting, well, getting 5 different countries to host 5 windows. BCL Asia East, it's the revamp of the BCL Asia qualifiers. 8 teams, 2 groups, 5 windows, total of 24 games. This is the 24th game. And then we'll have the final 4 to find out which 2 teams will go to the 2025 FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. Of course, the BCL, the Basketball Champions League, was a plan, a vision that was put into place by FIBA back in 2016. And after 9 years of BCL Europe, the influence has spread to the Americas, and now we're in year number 2 of BCL Asia. Well, we do apologize. We're just trying to sort out the time difference, because the clock hadn't started when the ball was inbound, but once we get this resolved, we will be able to get back. Because as I go back, and I could talk for hours on Asian basketball, but we are now in the pinnacle of all the big domestic leagues. I mean, today, SK Seoul in the Korean Basketball League, after being down 3-0 against Changwon, the LG Sakers have now tied up the finals to 3-3, and they are going to a Game 7. So we'll see at BCL Asia in June, either LG Sakers, or the SK Seoul Knights. Of course, the Japanese B-League, now in the semifinals, Chiba Jets will be taking on Utsunomiya Brex. While San and Neo Phoenix will go up against a team looking to make their 4th consecutive final, the Ruku Golden Kings. And now we're in the CBA finals as well. Beijing Ducks currently going up against the likes of the Zhejiang Lions. Well, make sure you also keep up to date with the FIBA Vassal Final 8 going on. Heavy favorites, Al Riyadi, looking to get back to the BCL Asia and defend their championship. Because Ariadi making some big late signings to their season, but also keeping a very good core of the Lebanese national team. So a big shout out to Coach Ahmad Farhan, as well as the likes of Wael Arakchi, Kareem Zaynun. I mean, it's just a great job that FIBA Asia's done by putting all three competitions together, including the domestic leagues, that is, to try and get the very best teams across the continent. And it's not just the East. Of course, FIBA Vassal, the very best teams from the west of Asia, the Gulf, and the South. Well, now it looks like we're ready to get things back in the way. The officials have sorted out with the table officiating crew. So, looks like we have a total of 4 minutes and what looks to be 6 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 18 on the shot clock. Broncos get it back, leading by a slender 1 point. Tolbert heavily defended. Broncos looking to extend their lead, but time's winding down. JT has to go with a fadeaway. The bank is open. Well, he just got the right angle. Tough move by Jordan Tolbert. Well, that now takes Tolbert's total to 4 points. Second field goal of the game for Jordan Tolbert. Now Singletary. Try to kick out, but good hands by JT. And now Broncos want to run. Tolbert, little Euro step. Tough pass, kicks out, finds Ekbatah for three. It's up. Well, great effort by the young 20-year-old, giving Broncos a second chance. Miller penetrates, goes in with the left, and again scoops it. Well, such a tough play, but now High-Tech have numbers. And it's going to be a wide open layup in the end by Maximus Williams. High-Tech cutting it down to 3 points. Now we're into 3 minutes. Well, Otkan Batar checking in for the first time. It's going to be a turnover. Well, Tolbert went for the handoff. Batar tried to go backdoor, and well, that's just miscommunication. As Bayard going to the bench, he'll take a breather. So Sandagorj checking in for the first time here for the Broncos. Broncos can cut it down to 1. Maybe take the lead, tie it up with a 3. Williams goes baseline. No one to kick out to. Suffocated defense. And Ekbatah trying to lead the brigade. Going all the way uncontested. Well, again, great take, but too strong on the layup. Singletary down the middle. Little jump hook right over Tolbert, cutting it down to 1. He's got 6 points tonight. He averages 20 points here in BCL Asia East. Miller's made 1 3. Got it by Williams. Quickly pulls up from 19. Well, Sandagorj finds Jordan Tolbert with a tip, and the three's not going to go. And now High-Tech can take the lead with Singletary. Bumps, draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line. That foul's going to be called this time on Sandagorj. That's going to be his first personal. Double change coming in for both teams. So Chulum Batar will sub in for the very first time this evening. As Manny Ajesu coming back in with 136. Well, he's averaging about 4 free throws per game so far. Of course, he's also averaging 7 rebounds, 3 shy of a double-double, but I'd probably argue he's one of the best backcourt players, I call him more of a 3-stretch 4. Singletary leveling things up. Now we're into 90 seconds. Sandagorj hesitates, fires a 3. Too strong off the backboard, but Tolbert gets another offensive rebound. Well, That's now the 5th offensive rebound tonight here for the Broncos as Miller goes for a deep one. The three-point shooting, but again, another steal. Otkan Batar. Julian Batar with a little floater and finally gets it to roll in. Well, nice take by him. Ikbayata, I should say, excuse me. Singletary on the baseline. Heavily defended. Finds a Jesu. Watkins wide open, and Watkins just able to finish. Well, that's a good bucket for High-Tech because now they can have it 2 for 1, but they must get a stop on defense. Could they go into the second quarter with a lead? Miller denies a screen. Try to go backdoor, and there's a turnover. Now, 2 seconds difference exactly between both game and shot clock. So now the 2 for 1 is on the cards. Wambu been heavily defended. Great defense by Otkan Batar. Now we're in the 10. Finding Watkins, but Jordan Tolman with good hands. And now with 5.1 left, it will actually be Broncos who can try to go into the quarter with a break. Or excuse me, go into the break with a lead. Another sub coming in here for High-Tech. Nakon Jaisenek subbing in for the first time, another Thai national team player. Well, they got to go quick. Puts it up from half court and hits the top of the backboard. Well, gets another chance. Well, I'm surprised he had a time left on that one. But that is the end of the first quarter live here at the M-Bank Arena in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Final game of BCL Asia East. Nothing separates both the Broncos and High-Tech. We will be back in just under 2 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We're live here to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, BCL Asia East, final game of the regular season. It's been a magnificent journey, 5 windows, and this is the 5th and final window. And what a magnificent venue, the M-Bank Arena in a beautiful city and country in Ulaanbaatar and Mongolia. If you're ever out in this part of the world, I highly recommend come to Mongolia, try the local cuisine, go to the countryside, but also come watch the local teams of the Broncos and Bishrel Metel. Currently are playing in their domestic league finals, but now it is the last game of BCL Asia East. Well, Broncos currently up against High-Tech of Bangkok, Thailand. Nothing separating these two teams. Watkins finds Jaisenek. Well, again, I don't know if that's a pass or a shot, but in the end, it's a rebound and 2 points to big man Manny Ajesu. Well, that's his first field goal tonight because he hasn't had enough looks in the paint. Well, Broncos have missed quite a few threes. Missed the last 7, actually. Freddie Leash comes up with it. Because one good note here from the Broncos, they actually do have 5 steals. They've only turned it over 3 times. But Jesu battling again, unable to finish. No foul call, still keeps it alive, goes out of bounds. But High Tech will retain this. Well, High Tech have committed 7 turnovers, but second chance points you can see so crucial at this point. Well, that's actually collectively their 4th offensive rebound of the game. 11 on the shot clock. Trying to find Watkins. Watkins bumps, goes in, way off the mark. And now Broncos want to run. Quick tempo, nice kick out, but another turnover. Tolman trying to commit a foul behind the back. Watkins comes up with it. Draws a foul, he'll go to the free throw line. Well, the Broncos, as mentioned, win or lose this game, it has little impact on how they'll do. Regardless, they are going to finish as the #1 team here in Group B, and they will meet Palita Jaya. As Bayard, young 20-year-old, checking back in the game for the Broncos. So far, he's had a very productive game. Jordan Tolman goes to the bench. Well, Tolman's got 1 field goal, 6 rebounds. I say that's what he does best. I mean, he is just such a tough player to keep off the boards. Watkins at the free throw line. Because he's got to be able to knock these down. Missed them both. Otkan Batar now playing point guard duties. Calling for that screen from Asbayad. Well, it's an old Mongolian team on the floor. Nice penetration, goes in. Just a little too strong. I like what we're seeing now from Broncos. All players representing the Mongolian national team. Watkins goes for 3, takes it, bangs it. Well, he's taken a few threes so far at BCL Asia East. That time, nothing but net. Igbayar here on the sideline. Another contested 3 is Zaman. Sinks this one. Well, they have missed the last 7 attempts on the three-point line. And that will just calm them down and just build a little bit of confidence. It's the second 3 of the night. They're 2 out of 14. Foul's going to be called against Otkan Batar. That's his first personal. It's only the second team foul against Broncos here in the second quarter. Sideline ball coming up. Freddie Leash will inbound this. Remember, High Tech, win or lose, this will be the last game in BCL Asia East. You got to credit the way they've come out. Probably disappointing for them was losing by 4 points to the Broncos in Thailand. And also giving up defeat against the likes of, well, nice play, Watkins gets one. Well, he'll go to the free throw line. Well, this is what they've got to do. They've got to get the bigs more involved tonight. Seven points tonight for Watkins. So a change coming in. As Tusheg Elbeck will go to the bench. He'll take a little breather. As Davad Dorch checking in for the first time. Watkins converts a 3-point play. Biggest lead of the game for High Tech at 5 points. Just beating the 8-second violation. And Manny Ajesu getting called for the foul. And, well, he can argue all he wants. He can get himself a basketball lawyer, but the jury's out. That was a foul as clear as daylight. Well, he's trying to say that Asbayar hooked him on the arm, but how many went in for the initial reach? Otkan Batar will go to the bench. So Badersbold coming back in, who I would say is probably their best point guard along with Ian Miller. Because the best game Badersbold had was that huge turnaround the fourth quarter against New Taipei Kings. Another good look for the Broncos, but unable to make. Jaisenik. Singletary going for a deep 3, it's up. Can't finish. Another rebound secured by Broncos coming from Asbayar. Broncos down by 5. Finds Asbayar. He'll fire a 3, hand his face. Another offensive rebound and second chance points going to Sandardoj. Well, Bindaria, because I've actually learned something new out here in Mongolia. Because every player does have 2 names, but the second name of every Mongolian player is actually the name of their father. So sometimes players have distinct names, but it's not necessarily a given family name, but now they go quick. Another 3, it's up. Almost leveled things up. Good look for the Broncos. But now High Tech want to push. Well, Jesse with a seal-off goes in. And I'm telling you now, High Tech have got to be more dominant inside the paint. Jesse with his second field goal. Still Amani Watkins leading them in scoring with 8 points, followed up by Watkins with 7. Still leading by 5. Asbayar goes in and he misses. Well, the presence of Singletary may have just put him off. Another foul committed. That's going to be the 4th and final team foul against Broncos. 5:29 to go here in the second quarter. Change coming in. Both Ian Miller and Jordan Tolbert will re-enter play, but you know, I like what Coach Erdeni Adiuncle did. Giving a moment of time on the court for an all-Mongolian 5. And this is how you help the basketball in this country progress. And let me tell you, Mongolia showed a lot of tenacity, a lot of character in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. And we could very well have the Broncos at FIBA BCL Asia, but they're going to have to defeat Palita Jaya at the Final 4. Leash goes in, and again, somehow, someway, Freddie Leash does the impossible. 7-point lead. Nice penetration. Are you kidding me? Well, deja vu moment. That was how Broncos won against New Taipei Kings in their opening game. It was Badispol penetrating. I mean, the elevation now finding Tolbert quickly. Kicks out. Well, they'll go for a 3. They've made 2. Make it 3. And a 5-0 run. Well, you hear the Mongolian fans. Zugir, Zugir, baby. Timeout called by High Tech. That 7-point lead is nearly disintegrated. Well, we'll be back momentarily. We're live here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Final game, final window of BCL Asia East.
Pick. Okay. And you here? Okay. Set the pick for Mike. Number 4, get the ball. Get the ball. Mike, you cross up. Okay. Now you cross pick him. And then you flat 5. I'm right there. I'm there. Okay, right? Hey, that's not bad. Let's get let's kick. Let's go 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. We're live here in the capital city of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, at the M-Bank Arena. Final window, final game of BCL Asia East. And there was the 3-pointer knocked down by Devardoj. It was great to see both High Tech and Broncos featuring so many key players that represent their national teams. Jackaran getting it to Singletary. Final seconds here on the shot clock. There's a kick out. Boom for a 3 in the corner. Nice response, beating the shot clock. Well, that's a Sawadi Ka moment. Bashbold now turning it over. Boom comes up with it. High Tech have numbers, but he goes himself a 3. And did he need to go? But Watkins gets rejected. But Singletary still can't finish. And it begs the question, it was a 4-on-1. Why go for a three-pointer? Well, Asbayar protecting the paint. Now has a mismatch. Draws it, counted. The future of Mongolian hoops. Asbayar, remember the name. Oh, this kid's terrific. He's simply magnificent. Has a mismatch. Goes around, quickly goes up with it. But I tell you something, at such a young age, such a very infamous player. I mean, he's definitely a very, you know, if you meet him off the court, he's such a humble professional, and he's always willing to learn. Converts a three-point play. 9 points tonight, also has 2 rebounds. Cutting it down to a 2-point deficit. Watkins getting his pocket picked by Jordan Tolbert. Trying to find Singletary. Hesitation, pulls up from 15. Oh, that was a good look. Another rebound. Watkins again going to the free throw line. This is what you want from Amani Watkins, just to be so relentless, so aggressive, contest for every offensive board. Well, High Tech have only taken 5 free throws tonight. They've only made 2 of them. Because Watkins can't go into double figures, but he's got to be able to make these both. First one good. Well, he stands at 206 centimeters. It's roughly 6'9". Unable to hit the second one. High Tech still lead by 3. High Tech may look like they've gone into a zone here at the moment. Well, Tolbert turns it over. Good steal by Leash. And Mwambun's got to run. Pump fakes. Well, you know Miller was getting to swat that one into the VIP section. Singletary left wide open. 3 is up. 3 is good. Well, they build up a 6-point cushion with 2:55 to go, and a timeout is going to be called by Coach Erdene Ariogold of the Broncos. We'll be back in just under 1 minute. Welcome back, everybody. We're live here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. BCL Asia East final window and final game. Currently, High Tech Basketball Club, who unfortunately will not be able to compete for a spot in the Final Four, lead by 6 against the Broncos of Mongolia's domestic league, known as the League. It looks like a 1-3-1 zone defense. Because High Tech trying, well, bit of contact, but he buries the 4th three-pointer. Well, they've converted 4 threes, and that's Ian Miller's second one tonight. Of course, High Tech 50% from downtown tonight. They're 5 out of 10. Leash uses a screen, finds Mwambung. Time is winding down. Singletary, contested, corner. Can't get it. Batisbold, another big rebound. Now looking to run. Finds Asbayar, keeps it under control, and showtime Broncos basketball. Well, you gotta love this kid. You gotta love Batisbold. the tempo, the intensity. Welcome to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Still a 1-point lead to High Tech. Well, Watkins is wide open. Leash in the corner, can't get it. And again, Broncos, they want to run. Can take the lead. Miller's made 2 threes. Can he make 3? Asbayad fights for it. And Broncos come up with another one. Asbayad left wide open. Well, it doesn't go for a 3, but Bottiswell will take it. He fires it. Tolbert, another offensive board. Up against Singletary, simply too dominant inside the paints as Broncos reclaim the lead with over a minute to go. Well, Watkins made his last 3. Can't get this one. Freddie Leash fights for it, but Broncos commit an out-of-bounds violation. So it is going to be High Tech ball on the baseline. 13 seconds on the shot clock, and a timeout will be called by High Tech. Well, we're going to be back in just under 1 minute. Good game so far, live here in the M-Bank Arena. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, BCL Asia East final game.
Hey, man, you need to catch the ball. Not pass to you. You make sure you use your hands. Yes, you know. When you get the ball from here, Junior, feel. Or did you start from here first? Okay, okay, feel. Okay, now, tรงนี้นะ So, when if not get here, we go hand off, ready, pick up. Okay, so make sure you get the ball. Team foul now, team foul. Hey, take on 3, 1, 2, 3. Right there.
Well, the timeout was called probably and most likely to try and set something for this baseline inbound they'll have. We gotta love the support from the Broncos fans tonight. That goes for both Broncos and Bishrel Metzel. We've yet to see other pro teams, but I've heard the support is very passionate for the game of basketball here in Ulaanbaatar. And Ujasu getting an easy invitation. Now 3rd field goal, 6 points. I don't think he'll get an easier look than that. High Tech take the lead. Broncos could go 2 for 1, but they turn it over. Now a 2-on-1 with Singletary. Goes himself, and he finishes. And that's one way to convert turnovers into fast break points. Another 3 goes up. Well, now it's going to be a 5-point lead, but Miller's going to go for the block, and Asbayar said, "Not in my house." What a rejection by the 20-year-old. Miller caught the double team. Bottiswell can tie it up. Bang! And the M-Bank Arena just erupts into electricity as Broncos hit their 5th 3-pointer. But High Tech can't have the final shot. While Boom penetrates. Good defense. And let me tell you something, it's all down to the young 20-year-old Asbayar. While nothing separated these two teams, it's halftime. We will be back in just under 15 minutes. Look at the rejection. Zukir, baby. And the 3-pointer by Bottiswell. Bayaklar, thank you very much. Asia East Final Four, a venue yet to be decided. Well, the 5 windows have been hosted by different teams within the groups. Started in Malaysia, then we went to Indonesia. Then we had a magnificent ride in Chinese Taipei that saw us see the Group B teams for the first time. Of course, the window before this was joint hosted by both Adroit of Singapore, but it was hosted in Bangkok, Thailand. And now what a wonderful job the Mongolian Basketball Federation has done by hosting it here in Ulaanbaatar. The M-Bank Arena, well, it's the home of pro hoops here in Mongolia. You've probably seen this on FIBA's social medias and definitely on the live streams on Courtside 1891 when the national team does play in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. And now it's hosting the final window of the BCL Asia East. Well, the Broncos, of course, been led by Azbayar, young Azza, as they know him here in Mongolia, the future of Mongolian hoops. Of course, they are missing their key national team player. We know him internationally as Tommy. Of course, one of the greatest players in the history of Mongolian basketball. But now let's get this one back underway. Tolman now in the paint. Got it by a Jesu. Textbook footwork, but he unable to finish. And now Leash comes up with it. Leash, bit of contact, goes in, can't finish, gets his own rebound. Well, 4 Broncos players around him and still managed to come up with the second chance points. Two-point lead to the High Tech. They've led by as many as 7 in this game. Tolman now in the post. Tries to go in between Jackarwine, but kicks out. Wide open 3. 3 is up, beating the shot clock, and a big time three-pointer. Made by Ikbayar, who now indeed does go up to 8 points. That's the 6th three-pointer made of the evening. Well, what a magnificent ride it's been for him as a head coach. Trying to go baseline. Asa almost coming over to steal, but it's going to remain high-tech ball. Broncos with a slender 1-point lead. 10 left here on the shot clock for high-tech. Leash goes for a quick three. That's a little too short. Going out of bounds. Broncos will get it back. Broncos trying to get something good here, trying to extend the lead. Ikbayar denies the screen. Finds Asa, goes in. What a move. But just his movement away from the ball when he doesn't have possession. That's now with 13 points. Leading scorer in the game, just right above Michael Singletary, who has 12. Well, Jesu kicks out. Lilapico wide open. Can't get it. Well, they haven't made a three since going 5 out of 10. They've missed the last 4. Tolbert, well, what defense by Matty and Jesu. Protecting the paint for high-tech. A blocking foul is going to be called against Asbayar. Sideline ball coming to high-tech, down by 3. Leishman bounces one. High-tech have got to keep the momentum here in the third quarter. Problems they had, especially against New Taipei Kings and Broncos in their own window. Now Leash can tie it up. Deep three, way off the mark, but Jacker Wan inadvertently getting the ball from Ikbayar, who was unable to secure the rebound. Well, that's only Jacker Wan's first field goal. Usually when he plays for Thailand, he's the #1 go-to scoring option in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. That was back in 2021. Tolman on the baseline. No defense. Uncontested. 6 points tonight for JT. Leash pump fakes. Now attacks. Good defense by Tolbert. Jackarway, another offensive ball, but he loses possession. And now Broncos have numbers. Well, Ankmatar was wide open. It's another turnover. Well, both teams. Sloppy basketball on both ends of the floor. Well, case in point. I think it's just a bit of a mental lapse there. Michael Singletary, I'm not quite sure it's a mental lapse, actually. It's a bit harsh me saying. I think maybe the ball had slipped out of his hands. Because what a terrific player Michael Singletary is. Born in El Paso, Texas, Texas Tech University. Of course, played in Montenegro, the NBA G League, and also played in the PBA for the former Barako Bull Energy. Also played for San Miguel Beerman, so any Philippine fans watching. And it's another turnover. Wow. Neither team able to take care of the basketball. Singletary draws a foul. This one's going to be called against Ankmatar. Well, Ikbayar is going to go to the bench. He'll take a breather. So Ian Miller checking back into the lineup. High Tech still down by 3. Singletary caught in a double team. Jackarwan, good work to come up with it. He's got to go finish. A nice move by the Thailand International. And that's the Jackarwan we remember from FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. I think Otkan Batar may have got away with a carrying violation. Now we're to 10. Sandargoch kicking out to Miller. Miller ISO. High elevation goes in. Rebound by Singletary. And now High Tech can take the lead. Singletary in and around, but he turns it over. And now they want to run. Lee's trying to catch up. Makes the effort. And Asbayar Galgal Broncos. 15 points. Well, he won the Player of the Game award yesterday. And should they win tonight, he could very well get it again. Good defense by Asbayar. Excuse me, Asbayar. Denying Emmanuel Adjesu with the double block. Odkambatar going to the bench. He'll take a breather. Bottisbold checking back in. Oh, this kid, the future's bright for him. I tell you what, he is going to be a fantastic primetime professional, and he's only 20 years old. Jackarwan getting a hand up. Good defense. Jackarwan goes in, throws it down with two hands. Well, he's got 6 points here in the third quarter. He only had 2 at the beginning. Another penetration. Little floater goes in. Adjesu gets a rebound. High-Tech can take the lead. Adjesu now trying to use the strength. Turning around, caught a double team. Still keeps it one hand, but again, another big rebound. Great defense by Asbayar. Well, Miller, too strong, goes in. Well, hard foul by Freddie Leash. So Ian Miller going to the free throw line. Well, Miller began his pro career in Italy back in 2014 when he played for Aurora Jesse. Spent quite a few years beginning in Italy because he went to the south of Asia to play for BC Astana in the Kazakh League. Briefly played in Turkey, France. Also played in Greece for Prometheus Patras, but really had a breakout moment in France when he played for Cholet Basket in 2021. He also has experience not only in BCL Asia East, but also in BCL Europe. Still a three-point cushion. Leash calling for a screen. Now looking to go baseline. Bit of separation. Comes up with it and goes in and, well, finally gets it to go. Well, Freddie Leash, tough as nails. Battling. Well, that is what you want to see from your star point guard. Showing no fear whatsoever. And now Miller wants to go. Miller attacks, splits the defense, goes in. Unable to finish. And High-Tech with a third chance to try and take the lead. Jaisenik wants to run. Jackarwan wants to post up. Well, quite a coming together there between Janitip Jackarwan and Asbayar. But I'll tell you what I like at the moment. It's not a great foul by, what? Not a good foul by Asbayar. And that's not the kind of player or personality he is. It's a moment of frustration. But I've got to give credit to Janitip Jackarwan. Now both players have just pat hands, shook hands with each other. Because that could have blown up into something very bad, of course. Now, a head coach's challenge has been called, so his argument was that should be an unsportsmanlike. So Glenn Cornelio, our referee from the PBA and the UAAP in the Philippines, along with Lee Kyung-Wan from the KBL, are going to go to the monitor to have a look and a review. Well, they've got a big decision. Should this be upgraded? Because if you look on the right there, the gentleman is Haruga Iwayo, another one of our referees we've had here in this window. Of course, officiates in the Japanese B-League, and when he returns from this window, he will be going back to Japan to officiate the Japanese B2 Championship, so the second tier of pro basketball in Japan. And that goes to show the quality, the high-level caliber of referees we have here in FIBA. All of them, of course, respectfully, not only do they officiate in their respective domestic countries, but sometimes, like you'll see some FIBA referees, they'll go from different countries, CBA finals, IBL finals. It's a great network of officiating. Because of many young, aspiring referees, this is the level you want to get to. Now, judging by the body language of both Lee Kyung-Wan and Glenn Cornelio, I don't think this is going to be upgraded. So no upgrade. Well, our third referee, Alexei Stepanenko, of course, has been a long-time official here with FIBA and our technical delegate and commissioner for tonight's game, of course, is the great Zhang Hongtao, who's had many years working with FIBA and the Chinese Basketball Association. Leash goes back door. Tries to go off the bag, but too strong. And for the third consecutive time, High Tech failing to take the lead. Broncos looking to extend. Wants a Spanish pick and roll. A Spanish pick and roll, gotta finish. Oh my goodness. We just saw Spanish pick and roll here in Mongolia. And if you wonder what I mean, Spanish pick and roll, oh, it's a steal. They come up with it. Gotta finish. And now it's a 4-0 run for the Broncos. Well, going back to that pick and roll I mentioned, it was a Spanish pick and roll. Infamously, that was used by the great Sergio Scariolo in the Spanish national team. And all it is a ball screen and then a back pick, a stack screen for the screener, which then ended up being Azbayar. We've just seen Spanish pick and roll in Mongolia. You've got to love FIBA basketball. Well, now Broncos going into his zone, and Singletary makes them pay the price. Big time three. 15 tonight for Singletary. Cuts it down to a one-possession ball game. Just over 2.5 to go here in the third quarter. Broncos still lead. Azbayar in the paint. Nice pass down low, goes in. What a finish, and gets the ab one. Well, what a big-time time coming from Azbayar. Just makes a cut down the middle, doesn't take a dribble, and it's the baseline cut in the end by that man, Binderia Sandargoch. Azbayar getting a standing ovation, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Well, if they win, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the Player of the Game award for a consecutive game. Manuel Jesu also going to the bench for High Tech. He's got 6 so far, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Well, Jackerwan, unfortunately, gifting the ball back to Broncos, leading by 4. Miller's got 12. Now getting chased a double team. Kicks out, another 3 goes flying, it's up. And Zugir, baby. Sembanu, Sembatanu. To all the Mongolian basketball fans watching at home. Well, Williams left uncontested, or Watkins, excuse me. Watkins may have felt there was a bit of contact, but nothing given. Of course, that three-pointer made by the Broncos, that indeed is now this, well, it's actually a 7-3. Well, almost got it again. Was a deja vu moment. As Muktuvchvin. Oh, Singletary, can he make another one? You bet he can. Wow, Singletary cooking here in the third quarter. Cuts it back down for a second time to a 2-point deficit. Well, that three-pointer does indeed make Mike Singletary the leading scorer in the game with 18 points. The former Taipei Fubon Braves player. Just go back to that window in Chinese Taipei. Taipei Fubon Braves, they've been in FIBA Asia Champions Cup. They're not even playing, but so many Fubon Braves fans coming to the Xinjiang Gymnasium just to see their former superstar. And Ian Miller going to the bench. He'll take a breather. Great game for him so far tonight. Of course, 3 rebounds, 3 assists to go along with his 12 points. 2 out of 6 from the perimeter tonight for Miller. Muktuvshin almost turning it over. Why not? Pulls the trigger from the three-point line. Almost got it. And now High Tech. They were down by 7. They're on a 5-0 run. Singletary. Good defense by Tolbert. Wambu comes back up with it. But Watkins fouled on the ground. Fouls on Muktuvshin. Well, we just have a slight issue with the scoreboard above us, so we may have to have a little delay. We do apologize, basketball fans watching live on FIBA's international YouTube platform. So the officials now asking players to go to their benches. We're just going to have to resolve this issue. Because if you have just joined us, this is the FIBA BCL Asia East, the journey that will see 2 teams out of 8, 2 groups, a total of 24 games, 5 windows. This is the final window, and this is the final game. And 4 teams who finish respectfully top 2 in those groups are now on their way to the BCL Asia East Final Four. The Final Four, of course, will take place on the 29th of May and finish on the 1st of June to find out which 2 teams will book their ride to the 2025 FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. Well, the technical issue has been resolved. We're now back 47 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Amani Watkins at the free throw line. Well, he's had a very good game tonight, 11 points. Because what I liked about him in the first half is he does miss it now, a 4th free throw tonight, was just how aggressive he was at contesting for second chance points. Second free throw good, now has 12 points. Batisbold avoiding the turnover. Will he go for another 3 in the corner? Nothing but net. Sweet like string music. And Muktuvshin. Davarkoch now has 11. He becomes the 2nd player for Broncos to get into double figures. 4-point lead to the Broncos. 9 seconds difference between game and shot clock, but it's going to be a high-tech turnover. Well, our official telling coach, if you want it, you can go for a head coach's challenge, but I wouldn't use it, I guess. Final shot here for the Broncos. They want to dribble this one down for the very last possession. High-Tech have 1 foul to give. Batisbold keeps alive. Goes baseline, still a bit of time. There's a kick out, there's a 3. Well, they got a good look. And they'll go into the 4th quarter with a 2-possession lead. Live here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Final game, final window of BCL Asia East. We'll be back in just under 2 minutes. And welcome back. The 4th and final quarter, final 10 minutes of BCL Asia East. We're live here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, at the M Bank Arena, the home of Mongolian basketball. Well, it's been a magnificent window. And indeed, it will be High-Tech, who are down by 4. Their final 10 minutes. Of course, a team who probably would have put themselves in a better position to qualify for the Final Four had they been a little bit more clinical when they hosted the last window in Bangkok, Thailand. Jason coming off one screen. Crash defense. Jessup goes in, simply unstoppable. Well, the big man, we have seen him feature for Thailand in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, also in 3x3 basketball under FIBA. Had a good game so far. 8 points tonight for Jessup. Oh, Tobin wide open. Really don't get the ball to him. Broncos another three. The foul's going to be called against Azbayar. That's going to be his 4th personal foul. So I wonder if Coach Erdene Adiungo will think about making a change. High-tech chance to tie it up. Because they had quite a few opportunities in the 3rd quarter to take the lead. A 3 would do that for them now. Singletary's got 18. Well, there you have it. There's a 3. And high-tech through the deep range of Michael Singletary gives them the 1-point cushion. 21 tonight for Singletary. Just above his average here at BCL Asia East. Miller went back door. Now he'll go for 3. He's made 2. Can't get it. Jessup with a rebound. Well. Oh, high-tech can have a 4-point lead. Unable to convert. Big rebound secured by Otkan Batar. And now Tolbert all the way goes in. Simply undeniable. High-tech getting it inbound quickly, but Watkins gets double teamed. They will get this one back. Well, again, if you're watching this game live on FIBA's official YouTube platform, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to FIBA on YouTube and follow BCL Asia East on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Otkan Batar is going to get called for the foul. That's a 2nd. And that's the 2nd team foul against Broncos here. Just over a minute and a half played in the 4th quarter. Of course, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have the BCL Asia East Final Four. If you want to find out about where the venue is, like I said, follow BCL Asia on all social media platforms. Oh, nice no-look dive, but it's intercepted by Tolbert. And Broncos can't extend. Miller kicks out. Takes a deflection. Back in the corner. Wide open 3. It's up. Can't get it. Singletary grabs the rebound. Trying to go quickly to Manny Jessup. Well, that's going to be an offensive foul. Great call by our referee. And Jessup, unfortunately, can have no arguments. Watch the elbow, the hook, right there. Great decision by the official. Still a 1-point cushion to the Broncos. Now going down to Tolbert. Quick pump fake. Well, again, a bit of shift shake goes in. Well, he had Armani Watkins on the first pump fake. Jason goes for a quick 3. It's up. Gives high-tech a 2-point lead. Oh, crucial 3-point shooting here in the 4th and final quarter. 9 threes out of 21. Could that plus 40% 3-point shot tonight be the difference? Miller bumps, and he'll go to the free throw line. And a chance to level things up. What's an aggressive take by Ian Miller. As Natakam Mwambun summing back into the game. While Otkan Batar will leave, so Batispol coming back in for the Broncos. Well, they've only taken 4 free throws tonight, Broncos. That's the 5th one. Of course, Miller now 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. Of course, at the beginning of the 2024-25 season, he was actually playing in Turkey. Prior to that, he was in Lithuania. The man who made the three-pointer, Juan Bud. Another one in the corner, can't get it. And now Broncos, things all level. This could go right down to the wire. Miller three, it's up, counted, and it rolls in. And the basketball obeys the laws of gravity. 3-point lead, the Broncos. Ajesu takes his time, holds off, and another offensive foul. And again, unfortunately, as much as I love this young man's game, back-to-back plays, watch with the left arm. Yep, good call. And you kind of feel if Ajesu just went in, a foul probably was going to be committed by Sandargorj. Bindaria Sandargorj coming over and, drawing that offensive foul. Boog almost coming up with a steal. 8 seconds. Cross court. Bindaria, bit of contact, but he doesn't get the ad one. Oh no, it's going to be called on the ground. So no free throws coming up for Bindaria Sandargorj. Baseline possession coming up. Miller will inbound this one. Now we're into 10. Trying to work with JT. Turning it over. Well, they got numbers. Might want to go quicker. Singletary goes in. Misses the layup. Watkins offensive rebound. Second shots points. Coming it down to a 1-point ball game. 14 tonight for Amani Watkins. And that was a huge play. 4 rebounds away from a double-double. Well, they need composure now. Miller goes for a contested 3, can't get it. Bindaria Sandargorj getting a huge offensive board. And now Miller trying to kick it out, but it's going to be a backcourt violation. Well, they did the right thing by letting it just roll, preventing a fast break bucket for High Tech. And High Tech now down by 1. Chance for them to take the lead again. Ikbayar Chulumbatar coming back in. He's got 8 points tonight. Still with Ian Miller. Jordan Tolbert on the floor. Both teams actually playing for pride if you think about it. Watkins made 1 3 in the first half. Can't get this one. High Tech can't come up with a rebound. Jysek's going to get called for the foul. So free throws coming up for Jordan Tolbert. Because the unfortunate part for High Tech, they've already put Broncos into the penalty. Tolbert makes the first one. Because another Texas Tech player finishes last season in the NCAA, the SMU Mustangs. Started at Monferrato, the 2nd division of Italian basketball. Then he went over to France to play for ER Toulon and also in Brussels in Belgium back in 2020. So he had that European experience. Just over 5 minutes. Singletary's been on fire. Can't get it. Jackawan just can't come up with a rebound. Well, he was wide open, but Tolbert goes himself. Can't finish. Ikbayar offensive board. High Tech down by 3. Want to get a stop here, but now they put the ball in the hands of Miller. Miller, step back, huge 3, got it! Big time play by Ian Miller. And Broncos, Hamgalai. Timeout's gonna be called by High Tech, down by 6. We'll be back in just under 1 minute. BCL Asia East, final game, live here at the M-Bank Arena in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Welcome back, everybody, live here at the M-Bank Arena in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, the home of Mongolian hoops in the capital city. Final game of BCL Asia East. Timeout was called by High Tech. Now find themselves down by 6. On 2 occasions here in the fourth quarter, they have taken the lead. And I think the one interesting stat in this game, High Tech have actually out-rebounded Broncos and have more offensive boards. Leash finds a Jesu. Wow, again, he avoids getting an offensive foul, but he still can't make it. And now the Broncos, they want to push. Miller's got 20 points. Another 3. Are you kidding me? Well, what time is it? It's not Reggie Miller time. It's Ian Miller time. Huge three-pointer. Well, they are now 30% from downtown. Ian Miller, look at this, the confidence. It's terrifying. Well, who needs Reggie? Well, we've got Ian Miller. Miller now 5 out of 11 from the perimeter. He's been cooking. 9-point lead. Freddie Leash. 3's contested, but he can't get it. Miller gets a rebound. Well, you know he's going to go for another one. He's feeling the confidence. He's feeling it. No, he gets rid of it. Badispol. Trying to go behind the back. But look at the hustle by Sandargoj. Ikbayar goes in. Well, what was Jack Rowan thinking? We should have grabbed that one, but it's going to be possession back to High Tech nonetheless. Well, change coming in. Sandaria, excuse me, my apologies. Sandargoj is going to sub out. He's got 4 points tonight. As Azbayar checking back in here for the Broncos. 17 for the young 20-year-old. Jesu, good defense by Azbayar. And now here come the Broncos. Miller thinks about it. Azbayar, hard foul, so 2 free throws coming up. Well, that was Jack Rowan just trying to track back, but just lost control. But look at the respect there. Well, not from the replay, but again, those two have had some coming together tonight. Janitip, Jack Rowan, and Azbayar. But it's not personal. It's just simply hunger, determination. And quickly after that, Jack Rowan went to pat him on the back and say, my bad, that was my mistake. And Azbayar said, hey, bro, it's so cool. Well, he makes the first free throw because he was inactive in the opening game for them against the new Taipei Kings. But his averages have been impressive. His first game against Adroit had 13 points. He's averaging 11.5, along with just under 6 rebounds. Unable to hit the second free throw. 10-point lead to the Broncos. Over 3 minutes. Final game. Well, good defense by Badispol. And he comes up with it. Now they have numbers. Finds Tolbert. Corner. Another 3. Takes it. Can't finish. Well, Leash got to make this one. Mwambut, little teardrop, cuts it down to 8. Still a bit of belief for High Tech. 7 points tonight for Nataka Mwambut. Well, patience must be key for Broncos. Regardless whether they win or lose, they'll finish top of Group B. Miller's 23. Can't get this one. Singletary rebound. Goes behind the back, a bit of magic. Finds Watkins. And now a 4-0 run from High Tech, cutting it down to a 6-point deficit. A timeout call by head coach Erdene Ariangold on the Broncos. 2:14 left. Final 2 minutes and 14 seconds in BCL Asia East. We'll be back in just under 1 minute. Welcome back, everybody. Final 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Broncos trying to remain undefeated. Well, for High Tech, it will be a consolation victory if they are able to come back. Problem for High Tech, no fouls to give. Ikbayad now wanting to put the ball in the hands of Ian Miller. Penetrates, goes in, misses the wide open layup. Now we're into 2 minutes. Broncos have one foul to give. Singletary finds Jackrawan. Well, again, made hard work of it. He's got to convert that one. Now Miller goes in, 25 dominant points. Well, he's been the showstopper tonight. You gotta love Ian Miller's swag. Singletary pump fakes. Goes for another three. Big time shot. And cuts it down to potentially a 2-possession ball game with 1:15 left. High Tech need 2 stops and 2 good offenses. But Broncos could probably close it out on this play. Well, good hands by Singletary. They must score on this possession. Oh, Muambun, just too casual. What was he thinking? Came up with it, decided to take his time, and just so carelessly turned it over. And that might just do it. You like what Miller's doing now, just waiting down the shot clock. Kicks out, as by Ya, 3, corner, Zuki, baby. Welcome to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. That might just do it. The future, the chosen one of Mongolian hoops. Well, there's a kick out. Miller finding Azza. Sembanu Uchlara, as they would say here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. What a finish. Welcome back, everybody. Final 36 seconds in the final regular season game here in the BCL Asia East. Well, High Tech have shown some moments of promise. They really have competed. But unfortunately, with 36 seconds left, down by 8, they're going to need some miracle. Jaisanuk finds Singletary. Finds separation. And another turnover. Jackrawan unable to get it. And that might just do it. 4 seconds difference between both game and shot clock. And I think you're going to see the sportsmanship now by Ikbayar. The Broncos fans know it. They're going to the Final Four undefeated. Mongolian basketball will have an opportunity to feature at the 2025 BCL Asia. It's not over yet. There's 4 seconds left. So High Tech are going to dribble this one out. But a fantastic win tonight here for Broncos. Jaisanuk will inbound this one. Well, there you have it, fans. It's all over. A big thank you, a big bayaklar to the Mongolian Basketball Federation. A very great 5th and final window here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia at the M-Bank Arena. Well, I am going to be heading courtside to meet with, indeed, the player of the game for tonight's game. Well, we're going to have to surprise you, let you know who it will be in the end, but what a huge win it was. Well, just until we get confirmation about who the player of the game is, we'll let you know. But I am heading courtside to meet with the player of the game. So stick around on this FIBA BCL Asia East live stream. And shortly after the interview with the player of the game, we'll also go to the press conference. Well, now with the player of the game, Ian Miller, congratulations, remaining undefeated in BCL Asia East, and it could very well be one win and BCL Asia for you guys. What would that mean for you and for Mongolian basketball?
It's the next step for Mongolian basketball, and for me personally, I just wanted to come here and help change the culture, make history, and that's what we're doing so far.
Now, of course, three-point shooting was a bit tough in the first half, but you guys picked it up. Great shooters will always shoot. I think you lived that expectation in the second half.
Yeah, it's always next shot. I try to breathe the same confidence into my teammates. Next shot, next play, and that's what we showed tonight.
Finally, just what message can you give to the great Broncos fans here in Mongolia?
Keep supporting us, keep standing by us. We love you guys.
Thank you very much, Ian. All the best to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the post-game press conference for the Basketball Champions League Asia East game between Team Broncos versus Team High Tech. Team Broncos beats Team High Tech 88-80. Pachacom and Ryan Watkins have joined us, so may I ask you to switch off your mobile phones? The press conference will be conducted in English. Coach, can you please give us your comment about the game?
The game is so close today, but I think my team, it starts slow because of travel to, it's unfortunately 5 hour. We travel like a transit, like a 20 hour to be here, and then we get a rest last night and practice in the afternoon. So I think we doing a good job. It's not execute that we lost today, but we doing a good job today.
Ryan Watkins, can you also give us your comment about the game?
Yeah, like Coach said, we had a long day of travel, 20 hours, 22 hours, 5-hour flight delay. But, everybody came in, they played hard, and we put up a good fight. Obviously we all want to win. We came here to win, but, we didn't like lay down either. So credit to our guys.
Thank you. This is the end of the first part of the press conference. We will be now back soon with the Broncos team. Thank you, Coach, and thank you, player. Welcome back to the second part of the post-game press conference. We now have with us Broncos team coach Aaron Botlirton and player Ian Miller. Coach, we would like to have your words about the game.
Okay. And hello, everybody. Then we are so happy for this winning, so that we make the history in our club in the Mongolian basketball. So tonight it's so tough game because of the high-tech is defense and very good. So they have very big guys. Then it's the big trouble for us.
Ian Miller, your thoughts about the game?
The next step and what we're trying to do here for Mongolian basketball and the Broncos club. Started off slow, but we got it together and finished strong.
Okay. Well, thank you. Do we have any questions from the media in English? Reminder to state your full name and the media company you're representing. Well, okay. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Ian Miller. The post-game press conference is officially over. Thank you all.
Thank you. I want to say something about my players because I'm really proud of my players. They are doing their best every day, every night, every practice. Thank you for all of our players and their coaching staff.
Thank you all.
To the rise.